Oji Ezinne, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I am Ezinne Udezue. I am the Chief Product Officer at WP Engine. WP Engine is the #1 managed WordPress company. Prior to being at WP Engine, I was the Vice President of Product Platform and the GM for the owner's product at a company called Procore, which is in construction software. And I've basically led innovation for some really fun companies like Time Inc., Discovery Media, T-Mobile, and just have loved doing product across multiple industries. Oji?
Hi, everyone. I'm Oji Udezue. I am most recently Chief Product Officer at Typeform, which makes the most compelling forms on the internet, most beautiful forms used by marketers. I've also been Chief Product Officer at Calendly, the tiny, simple scheduling software you know and love for individuals and also for teams. Also head of product at Atlassian, where I ran the communications division for a while. And then consumer product lead at Twitter for conversation. So that means a lot of the consumer product, including tweets, direct messages, audio spaces, and a few other interesting projects, which was a lot of fun. Also a venture scout, investor, and advisor, work a lot with early stage companies. I'm really, really passionate about helping innovators, founders succeed. And it's one of the things that I love about what we do.
Great, thank you very much. So to kick things off, I'll start with yourself, Ezinne. How did you get into product?
Wow, I started off as a systems engineer and worked on some really impactful things. But I'll tell you a bit. I started getting asked to work with customers a whole lot. And I mistook it as a lack of them respecting my technical chops. And for that reason, I pursued a PhD in electrical engineering just to prove to the world that I was really technical. While I was doing the PhD at Stanford, I learned about product management. I learned what the design school is. I learned management science, which is this balance of engineering, business problems, and customer knowledge and discovery, and fell in love. I walked away from my PhD program. I got a master's and then became the first product manager at T-Mobile USA. There were people who were doing the function, but they were called product engineers or analysts, but I had learned what product management was, and I insisted on that title. That is my story about falling into product.
And yourself, Oji, same question to you.
Yeah, I always think it's entertaining to point out the similarities that, obviously there are differences between me and Ezinne, but I'll tell you what, I started as a systems engineer too. She started working on telecoms very early. I was working on sort of the metropolitan local area network stuff. I also came to do a PhD at the USC, and I also kicked off at the master's level because I thought I wouldn't teach. Very quickly, the first thing I did was sort of product for career, was productize some of the research I did at the high-speed network lab at USC in that area, in the Los Angeles area. And then I moved to Microsoft and very quickly became a product manager on Windows. I worked on Windows for a very long time, and everyone should, of course, forgive my contribution to it, but also hopefully celebrate it, because every time you open Windows, there's a little bit of my soul trapped in it. But, Microsoft was great. It taught me a lot about the basics of being a product manager, and I hope I've done that pedagogy proud over the years.
So a question to both of you now. So as Black leaders in tech, what are you excited to see in the future?
Black leaders in tech. So it's a very interesting label for us. Of course, we recognize that, obviously, but I think day to day, we have to sort of switch between identities. There's so much progress across the board. It feels like in our lifetime, so much has changed. I still remember like cassette tape. Please, no one should judge me. Cassette tape computers, right? With a TV screen. A lot of people will not remember that. I was a tiny child when this was happening. So tech is advancing very fast, and with all the AI stuff on the screen, on the horizon, it's really exciting. So I think that's the first thing. Um, as a profession, product management, which sits between technology and the business, we're seeing so much more awareness, right? But also for other roles in tech and how they connect. Sometimes it's one thing to say you need engineers and need product people, but what's more exciting is how best do they come together to innovate? And I think people are being more aware of the complementarity of these things over time. And also that it takes all kinds to innovate. Like people are building hopefully better blended teams. I don't know how, but that's my impression. People don't know this, but Twitter was like one of the most diverse companies ever. It was kind of astounding when I was in there. And that created so much new stuff that we were working on pre-Elon anyway. We also are members of lots of, technology communities, like general ones. Like earlier in our career, we were part of the IEEE, which is very common for engineers, right? But more specifically, there are all these communities that help more diverse people who are excluded from technology, enter in and thrive in there. So we started out with the National Society of Black Engineers. Well, right now we're part of a group called Black PMs that we found, and it helps Black people, talented young Black people, become better product managers because it's such a hard discipline to enter into. So we're excited about all of it. We're excited about the advancement of technology. We're excited about all the associations that help technology be what it is over time. We're excited about things like NESB and Black PM that help people of color really shine in this space as well.
Yeah, I mean, everything Oji says. I think that when we sit down and talk, I think that one of the things that's really been remarkable over the recent, at least recent past, or even more recent, or what we're seeing is that there's an opportunity to have a seat at the table and elevate the voices of Black leaders. I'm extremely appreciative because I lived in a world where I didn't see any Black leaders in tech. And, again, don't age me out, but I grew up in this world of, be the best, get a seat at the table, and then open it up for others. And it comes with its own challenges and scars and heartache and all the things. But because of the internet, because Black voices are getting a seat at the table, I think people can see more of themselves and see what is possible. So I'm excited about that. And then the last thing that I'm so much more excited about is just truly the allyship that I'm finding in tech. And here's why it's important. I think that in our real world, there have been structural challenges where there are biases and prejudices that are part of the structure. I think we're having open conversations about race, about biases, and we're talking about it as it pertains to technology and it being encoded in technology, as well as it being encoded in systems. And because technology is our future, I'm appreciative that we actually have language to talk about these things so that we can actually design better software for the future, or design better AI for the future. It will not be perfect. We're going to have to go through another round. That is a fact. But as a Black leader in tech, that's what I'm excited to see, that we actually can have open conversations about this so that the things that we are building do not inherently just have the biases without the questions or without that awareness that I see a lot of people being schooled or educated about. So that's one of the things I'm also excited about, in addition to everything Oji said.
No, I love. I just want to say one quick thing. I love what Ezinne said. It feels, so cogent for where we are. I think one of the reasons that we love technology, we love what we see in the future, is that it's so powerful. It feels like the technology age, I don't know if that's a thing, is necessary for humanity, for Homo sapiens to be here. It feels like we will use it to augment our next evolution or how we operate on the planet. It's such an efficient way to sort of use to make humanity better. Now, it can be used to make humanity worse. Now, if you look at the excesses of social media and so on and so forth. But if we're very thoughtful about things like artificial intelligence, we will make the world better, easier to live, more food, more sustainable. And Ezinne said we're having language to talk about some of the fairness, some of the systems, and some of its uses that we can use today. And I feel like we're such at a crucial point where all these things are coming together. And we're so grateful to have maybe a voice to contribute to that debate.
Amazing. Thank you very much for both your insights there. Really, really useful to hear. I'd love to hear an introduction from both of you to your upcoming book, a little bit about it. Why did you write it, and what can people expect from it?
So let me start with why we wrote it. As Oji said, we're both in product, but we also are very involved in just our general community, Black communities, product communities. And we found ourselves doing quite a bit of, and also the startup ecosystem, very involved in Techstars, DivInc, and all the accelerators you can think of. We found ourselves doing a lot of coaching and explaining either to founders what product should be and could be, or to product managers that are early in their career about what it would take to get to the next level. And in some cases also just working with our peers on what the future of product can or could look like, particularly as we had both worked across multiple industries. And we had seen product from all points of views on empowered teams, hardware, software, telcos, just done transformations or what you call digital native companies. So we'd seen a lot between the two of us and some of our friends. And we thought it was important to just begin to chronicle that in many ways, or just synthesize that into some core things. Oji had the benefit of having been in multiple companies that had gone through PLG and grown and exploded. Well, I had done the same in terms of transformations, companies that are not necessarily digital native, and we would compare notes and would see these patterns emerge. So that's why we decided to write the book. I'll let Oji tell you more about the book.
No, that's appropriate. We are convinced from pattern matching that product management is one of the biggest levers for building really valuable software companies. A lot of founders and CEOs come from the product persuasion. Every product manager runs around thinking they're going to be the next great CEO, the next Zuckerberg, or they're going to build the next company. Literally, it's like herding cats. It's crazy. All these alphas running around. So what we wanted to contribute was a behind-the-scenes sense of what it takes to do this excellently in 2024. So in terms of product people, the biggest question product people get all the time is, what is a product manager, what do they do? And we're not trying to answer just that question, although the first chapter has what I call is sort of like the reason. So people tell you things, but we want to go into like, what's the foundation? Why does it make sense? Why does the math? And so we go into that a little bit. But that's not about it. We want to create something practical, something doable of all the maybe like, I don't know, 40 years plus experience between the both of us. How do they spend their time? How do they really solve problems? And how do you do it well today? Because it's getting more competitive. Software, we're no longer at the beginning of technology, and so it's just there's more now. So we wanted to inform product people and their collaborators all the markers of excellence of building software companies using product management as a lever in 2024. And so that's what we set out to do, and hopefully that's what we've done.
Awesome. And can I ask what the expected release date for the book is?
So I actually get this question randomly, and I'm sure Ezinne does from the internet, which puts so much pressure on us. And so all you all there sending me all these DMs, please let it just chill. All right. But the book is finished and we are on glide path to release. So we are thinking summer 2024, working really hard on it. And so, fingers crossed that we get there. And my publisher also likes me to share that date because, it's getting closer.
Yeah. You never know. Yeah. You never know how tough it is until you start. And it was much more challenging, particularly with full-time jobs at the level we work to get here. So I much respect those who churn these things out every time.